Hey, welcome to a new video. Today we are at Pagani in Italy. We're gonna take a look at how the company has grown and how it has evolved towards the creation of their latest car, the Utopia. We're gonna be seeing how some of the work that was once outsourced has been brought into the company. We're gonna get some behind the scenes look at how the cars are put together, and even take a test ride of the Utopia with the chief development driver. It's going to be a fun day packed with lots of activities, and you're going to be learning a lot when it comes to Pagani. So stick around and check out the whole video. So we're going to head inside and check out the museum part first. All right, so when you come in, you have this really amazing entrance here with a shop, a few displays. But we're going to start straight away at the museum, which takes you into this really well-curated space, starting off for people to visit with a little movie to kind of get you up to scratch with the history of Pagani. And then through these curtains is where the museum area begins. So the first thing you get to see is basically some of Pagani's older projects when he was still a very young engineer, up and coming. Some of the first cars he got involved with, even his Bianchi bicycle he used to use to cycle to Lamborghini when he worked at Lamborghini. Some of the first mock-ups of the Zonda. A lot of stuff that was kind of instrumental to kind of crafting Pagani's ethos and design language and just fueling his passion. We move straight away to a very important car. This is the Zonda La Nonna, the grandmother, and basically this is chassis number 2. It's what served as a development car for pretty much every engine that went through the Zonda lineup, all the way from the very beginning to the crazy evolutions of the Zondas that followed. So a very important car. It's been decked out with the latest naturally aspirated AMG V12, and is a bit of history here at Pagani, a car that everybody really loves to see because it is so instrumental to having crafted what Pagani is all about. Next up, the Zonda F. The F actually stands for Fangio. So Emanuele Fangio was a very famous driver that, you know, Mr. Pagani had much respect for, so he named this car after the man himself. And again, an evolution of the Zonda, kind of bringing the performance forward, the design forward, and of course the development of different composite materials, which kind of really came together for the Zonda Cinque Roadster here, which was the first car to have the carbon titanium chassis, kind of pushing carbon technology and performance to the limits. It even came with the first sequential transmission, paddle operated. So very special car, extremely valuable and easily identifiable with this because of this scoop here that feeds air into the naturally aspirated V12. We then come to a very special car. This is a one-of-one creation, Mr. Pagani's own car, a kind of fusion of the HP Barchetta and the Revolution. This is the Revo Barchetta, as they call it. You can see the name right here. A wild thing. And sporting some colors inspired by the Can-Am cars of the 60s that really played a significant part in Mr. Pagani's kind of early days. Next to that is a very important car for me, especially. I was very much involved with this car during the development phase. This is the BC, and it's crazy to see this car in a museum because I actually got to drive this car in 3 continents. We actually took this car to Australia and had Keiichi Tsuchiya drive it at the World Time Attack. I drove this in the States when we did Pebble. I drove this in Japan when we did the Toge run, and of course in Australia while it was there for World Time Attack. Incredible machine. Very special car, and they have it here in the museum now as a kind of like a significant car. You know, the progression of the Huayra, the sporty version of the Huayra with that obvious rear wing that was added. And right behind me is the Zonda R from 2010. crazy no limits track monster. And you can see the front end of the HP Barchetta Revo. So wild. And I actually have a question for you guys. So back in those few years that I spent working here at Pagani, I actually got a pair of these little Italian stickers to put on the rearview mirror. The idea was to put them on the R34 and have basically a layer of clear coat sprayed to kind of recreate the Pagani mirrors. I haven't done it yet. I'm not sure if I will, but if you think I should, let me know in the comments below. Right here is the back of the Cinque Roadster. You can get a better look at that crazy intake there. And of course, only 5 of these Cinques were made. Cinque, of course, means 5 in Italian, kind of giving away the production number. It's on the F from the front. Past the Nonna again, onto the Huayra. This particular car was the one that was used to launch the Pacchetto Tempesta, which was a performance upgrade package which included different wheels, elongated front splitter section here, you can see, and a crazy exhaust system that sounded absolutely wild and created pops and bangs pretty much every time you went on power and backed off. Crazy thing to see this again. And I should add, this little corner here with the piano in the back is where customers who choose to have their cars delivered here at the headquarters, this is where it's all done. You can see the center section there with the drapes. Basically drop, hide the car, and when the time comes to unveil the car for the customer, they pull that up. And what a dramatic way to see your custom-made Pagani unveiled. A lot of cool art on display at the museum this time around. They actually keep some of these walls basically free for local artists to display and put them up for sale. Really cool to see that Pagani is supporting that side of things as well. Just going up the stairs to get a little panorama view of the cars, and it's a cool thing, they have basically all the covers that they've collected over the years. They've been across pretty much every motoring publication around the world. I don't see anything here from Speed Hunters. Unfortunately, being a website, never had a cover to actually give these guys, but what a lineup. Right, so with the museum done, we're gonna move over to the atelier, basically where cars get spec'd. So we'll head over inside and continue the tour. Okay, now we're going through secret tunnels here where you can start to see some good stuff. All right, so we are in the main factory area, and we're gonna start the tour looking at this corner here, which kind of gives you an idea of some of the stylistic direction that Orazio Pagani kind of had as he transitioned from the Zonda to the Huayra to the Utopia. And to start things off, this is something I've been literally looking at for the last 10 minutes. This is the entire driveline of the Utopia, so you can see the Pagani V12 AMG motor. What makes this a little bit different is it actually has 2 throttles under the plenum. You can see the Bosch electric throttles under there, polished intake manifold, half carbon, and then back to polished aluminum that feeds the little turbos from Borg Warner hanging out on the side here. You can see the AMG on the hot side of the turbo, but yeah, quite compact. Obviously they spool up super quick. You can see how short the exhaust is as it comes together to create that iconic quad outlet, and the X-Track transaxle gearbox at the back here. So for the Utopia, the transmission option is basically either manual or semi-automatic, which is great to see a manufacturer of this level still offer. Let's get going. So we have fully functioning Zonda here. This is the number 1, the very first Zonda made, 001. Take a look at the engine, and it still had the Mercedes logo before the collaboration with the AMG began, but basically a race car for the street. You can see the pipe frame holding the engine and transaxle up. Those amazing suspension arm and uprights, push rod suspension, the big exhaust again with the quad outlets, the big Pirelli P0 asymmetrico, and that touch of luxury inside. Mix of tan leather with something a little bit more towards cream. And as we move onwards, we have some one-to-one mock-ups of I guess when they were still figuring out what the Utopia would look like. So it's a good thing to be seeing, you know. They're allowing to see the process of how it kind of goes from design to final product, and the various versions of that they have to kind of see up close to really get the feel, the vibe of the car. We have the Coda Lunga here, the long tail mock-up, a few more Huayra mock-ups here. We have the Huayra R that we actually got to see at Fuji Speedway last year. Amazing day that we got invited to by Pagani Asia. This is actually chassis number 6. This is a really famous car because it was the first Pagani Zonda to actually be offered and done with this clear finish on the body, so you can actually get to see all the carbon fiber and no paint hiding the quality here. You can see the center section, how they match up, and it's joined by these kind of like silver carbon highlights. I apologize for the noise, but this is the production line of Pagani, so things get a little bit noisy, but an amazing lineup to start off with. And of course, this is actually the very first Huayra that was presented. This is the debut car that was used back in, what was it, 2011, 2010, 2011? I actually remember this really interesting finish they went for, kind of like a matte cream silver, and that light color contrast in the interior. Alright, we're gonna have a nice little walk around of this Utopia coupe. This is actually the car that was at Goodwood. The owner actually wanted the car to be delivered to him at Goodwood, so it just came back from the UK. It's being cleaned up now, and we get to really nerd out. Very unique model, as it comes with the Roadster wheels. You can see all the detail, which we will see in even more detail later on when we see the actual production. This car is really spec'd to kind of stand out. It has a completely blue carbon titanium tub. You can see the manual transmission there. And the owner actually collaborated with a fashion brand to kind of design some of the trim. You can see the kind of weaved pattern on the door card here. Beautiful touch with the sewn-in Utopia logo, the heart of the beast, and that ceramic coated exhaust back there. The owner actually asked the car to be named Say, which means 6. I'm guessing that's his lucky number. and it's finished off in this beautiful kind of like light metallic blue, almost like a pearl. Beautiful car, it really stands out against all the polished aluminum details. The tail lights here, the exhaust surround with the louvers on top. Of course, the Italian tricolore flag. Right, doors closed, and we get to see the car in all its beauty. Just look at that profile. I think the paint really works so well to highlight all the features of the car. I love the mirrors on the Utopia as well. They've actually moved the Italian flag to the side here. All the little cool details, beautiful machined aluminum everywhere you look. All right, so this is the production side of things, and it's always the components that get me here at Pagani. I think the Utopia has hundreds of pieces that are actually machined from billet aluminium, and we're going to be actually seeing all of that in detail at Modena Design, the company where all of this is made. But you can see all these beautiful pieces where everything is etched with the name of the car. Just look, even the backside is just beautiful to look at. We have the actual instrumentation here, the air vents that of course are then finished up with the Pagani titanium bolts. Everything is numbered and marked with the Pagani logo. And of course we have the biggest piece of them all, the steering wheel, all from a billet. Just look at this piece, absolutely incredible. And we are in the autoclave room. These are two big boys that basically churn out monocoque tubs daily. They're always on, always working. All the molds are placed in here, and basically high pressure, high temperature, everything gets cooked and made. And I don't know if the actual scale comes across, but you know, they are absolutely enormous. You can fit an entire car in here basically. And there's some more smaller autoclaves for smaller pieces obviously, but always crazy to see these up front. All right, I think this gives a better idea of the scale. They're absolutely enormous, towering pretty much 2-3 meters up. Amazing stuff. All right, so once the carbon parts are pulled out of the molds, they're brought into these sealed chambers where the trimming guys do their work, basically cutting away all the pieces around the edges, smoothing out, sanding down. And from here we are moved to this section where basically quality control is done at the highest level. You can see the before and after gets also polished to kind of bring the resin, the shininess of the resin across. The panel gaps are carefully looked at in detail across all the mounting points of the different panels, fixed up, and once the car is signed off, it gets taken apart and taken to the paint shop. Okay, so we are in the carbon layup room, and we're going to check out some carbon being done. This is actually the trunk area where the suitcases are placed in. You can see the layup has already been done, and it's now being put in the little bags that then get vacuum sealed before heading to the autoclave. This is actually the same piece that's already been bagged. You can see how it's kind of put together with a little valve system to pull the vacuum, and then it goes straight to the autoclave. Okay, here are some slightly bigger pieces that are already been vacuum bagged, ready to head to the curing in the autoclave. It's such a cool process to see up close. And of course, this is the actual tub. Crazy stuff. All right, I just thought we should probably do a walk around of the Barchetta. This is actually Orazio Pagani's own Barchetta. So this is actually one of three. They call this the HP Barchetta. Of course, HP stands for Orazio Pagani. And it's kind of a celebration of the end of the Zonda. It has all the higher level carbon, the more advanced carbon technology from the Huayra applied to the Zonda chassis and pieces. And it is something absolutely wild up close. It has the closed top fender here at the back, something that Mr. Pagani actually imagined integrating that into the Zonda from the very beginning, but then I ended up dropping that idea. It's kind of a celebration of Fangio's 300 SL Mercedes. You can see the Mercedes influence inside with the trim on the seat, kind of matching the SLR. Beautiful creation, lots of one-off touches, like the openings here on the front to extract more air from the radiator. The mirrors, of course, have been moved from the top of the fender to the cut A-pillar. This is a fixed windshield Barchetta, open top, no roof. You can see that Zonda Cinque inspired air intake back here. The speakers right behind the seats and integrated inside the roll hoop, and that intricate exhaust back here. Let's take a look from the back before we head to Modena Design and check out the rest of the production here at Pagani. All right, so my car has arrived. This is actually the launch Utopia. Really nice, dark red, clear carbon. So I'm gonna jump in with Matteo, the test driver. We're gonna go for some location hunting around Pagani here to, I guess, you know, put the car against a really nice backdrop. So I'm gonna jump in. This beautiful checked pattern seat. All right, so I'm here with Matteo. Thank you for the ride today.
Hi, you're welcome. No problem.
So yeah, we're gonna go location hunting just outside the Pagani factory here in this beautiful spec Utopia, and it's a manual. So as you can see, we caused a bit of a commotion leaving. Like the entire museum came out to have a look at the car. See, it's a dog box transmission with the first blowdown. All right, so we're positioning the car in the first location. Shooting it next to this little church here. It looks almost black, but once the sun starts hitting it, that carbon weave just pops like crazy. All right, so we positioned the Utopia Roadster here in front of this little church, just a few minutes away from the factory. We're gonna do a little walk around just to see all the details that make this prototype number 2 a little bit special. Aside from the fact that it's one of the very first accesses that are being given to this car. We have just heard from the Pagani guys that not too many people have had the chance to shoot the Roadster, so I'm very lucky to do this. So much appreciation to Pagani for this. What makes this car really special is that it's actually running the sports package, which is made up of some components, starting off with these carbon fiber blades on these optional rims. And to give you an idea what the actual stock rims look like, they're fitted to this side. So you can see how the split rim design here, inspired by the Zonda, is used. We have red calipers on this side, silver over here. All right, so to add to the whole tire and wheel package, what really makes these interesting is that these Pirelli P0 Trofeo RSs are actually fitted with a Bluetooth module, so that once the car is fitted with them, the stability, traction, ABS system basically know that they're using this high grip tire and therefore recalibrate themselves to take that into account. Really cool. You can just make out the ceramic coating on the exhaust here, which is part of this sports package, finishing up with the legendary Pagani quad outlet. I do love the venting here, the louvers on top, which we saw come out of the milling machine. Another interesting touch is that this package also comes with carbon titanium reinforced bits and pieces, starting with this deflector here, which basically are these 2 movable wings that move up and down for braking and stability, as well as the A-pillar and other supports, and of course the Roadster roof that we actually just removed. So we took the roof off and added the little deflector here that is a 2-piece section to keep turbulence out of the cabin. And another thing that is part of this package are the sport seats. You can see they have this checkered pattern on the center section. And yes, I'm going to be mentioning 50,000 times that this is the manual, the dog leg first. Back here, that little leather bag is where the soft top is usually stored. So if you get caught with rain, you can actually add that here and keep the interior nice and safe. Get the guys here to open up the rear cowl and show off that work of art. You can really get a good look at the sports exhaust. We actually saw the stock exhaust in one of the cars that were being built in the factory, and this is definitely a more aggressive setup. It splits into 2 very big diameter pipes that exit directly from that round exit back there in the center of the bumper. The AMG V12 twin turbo with the charged coolers mounted right there beneath the Pagani logos. The torque, that's for sure. It's a 3rd gear pull.
So today in Pagani, that vertical know-how and organic growth inside the company is also reflected into the development that we put into our cars. For the Utopia Coupe and Roadster development, we are about to reach 1 million of kilometers of testing, and we have in total of 10 prototypes spread over to 8 prototypes on Coupe and 2 prototypes on Roadster. and currently we're at 850,000 kilometers of testing, and soon we'll reach 1 kilometers of data collected on those prototypes. Also keep in mind that every prototype has a certain mission. So there is a prototype dedicated to crash tests, 50 crash tests, one prototype developed to transmission and clutch development. Then AMG gets a few prototypes for engine and power unit development. There is also one prototype dedicated to Pirelli, to Bosch. So our main suppliers also are deeply involved into the development of bespoke components that are bespoke for Pagani. And not only our road cars, right? So also on the R models, our Huayra R and our Huayra Revo Roadster, we're almost about 30,000 kilometers of testing gathered on the racetrack. 10,000 for the Revo Roadster and 17,000 for the Huayra R. So this shows the effort and the validation and homologation before we actually start production of our customer cars. This is something Horacio, also in Zonda, right? You know Zonda La Nonna, it has half a million kilometers of testing. So yes, for us it's very important to close off mature project to then show the respect to our customers with a hypercar today.
All right, so here we are in the car with Sebastian. We're just going to take a little ride around the block and kind of discuss what we saw today, and I guess take over from where I stopped talking with Mr. Pagani in my last video with him last year when we met at Fuji Speedway, and you know, kind of bringing what we saw today, because for me it was very special because you know, being involved with Pagani so early on, I saw the company when it was still very much a family business, but it's so much more today, and I just want to dive into that a little bit more detail.
Okay, let's go then.
Let's get going.
So Dino, we are in a very special car now. We are in the world premiere car of the Utopia Roadster, and this was the car that we unveiled on the lawn of the Quail last August, and it's prototype number 2 with a Rosso Habanero spec, which was a brand new color.
Yep.
A bit in memorial of Benny Caiola that helped us design the Rosso Dubai, to have that very elegant red at night, but then very sporty during the day. And habanero in Italian is a little pepper. And with the Roadster, the main development goal was to answer a dilemma that was old as the world in the automotive, of choosing between a coupe and a roadster. So with this car we try to answer, with our perspective, a car that would combine a dual nature between coupe and open top, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People who are more into sports cars often go for a closed car, because it's a lighter car, it's also a more rigid car, yeah. And then a Roadster is more an enjoyable ride, let's say on the beach side. But with this car, having this vertical and internal know-how, we are able to, for the first time, offer on the market an open top car that has the same exact features as the coupe. So the same weight, same torsional rigidity of the monocoque, same mechanical components also. It's the same Pagani V12 engine with 864 horsepower. If you look at the interior, the entire design is identical to the coupe. So we really wanted that the car was born with that dual nature, so that the customer could enjoy the car with the different profiles, right?
Yeah. Like two experiences in one, basically.
Exactly.
And this car is actually fitted with a new package, right?
Absolutely. So we launched the sports package for Utopia on this car. So we are now in the production of this package. So customer cars are fitted with it, and it has a series of sporty options, like the sport seats that we can see here. Customers will also receive the 4-point harness, seat belts. And customers can also receive the Carbo titanium floor mats, some elements of the monocoque have been strengthened with the carbo titanium. The hardtop of the car is made also in carbo titanium, which is extremely light. It's a hardtop that weighs 7 kilos. And then customers also enjoyed the ceramic coating exhaust in the package. The flaps are made out of carbo titanium, which are lighter. We will also have the car with semi-slick compound tires, which are the Trofeo RS, specifically developed on the Utopia Roadster with cyber tire technology. So with Pirelli, we had a journey of 6-year development of having a safer and more connected tire to the brain of the car, right? So inside the tread of the tire, there is a sensor connected to Bluetooth to the brain of the car. So whenever you change a compound of tires, and let's say for example tomorrow you want to go on a racetrack and you want to mount the Trofeo RS. So wherever in the world you're changing your tires, when you mount a specific compound, in this example the Trofeo RS, the car will automatically recognize what tires it will have. So the ABS, the ESP, the traction control, the ECU also, it has specific ECU calibration, will be modified on the compound you're wearing. Plus, the car also, thanks to that sensor, will be able to gather data on grip, on the external conditions. Horacio often refers to it's a step now in history for improving road safety, because we hope this technology of cyber tire will also be mounted on more general daily cars. It's like walking barefoot or with shoes on a beach. You of course feel much more better the sand without shoes, and this is a bit how we perceive the cyber tire
and you
technology.
self-adjust as soon as you put the shoes on. I have to say we picked the most perfect day for this. Probably like 40 degrees right now without the roof.
It's really a roadster day, right?
Oh my gosh. Thank God it has functioning aircon.
Yes. You know that the air conditioning on Utopia has been developed by ourselves, because we wanted to add 6 airbags to the Utopia Roadster, because for us safety is one of the main highlights of the car. And to save weight, to compensate the weight of adding those 6 airbags, we decided to strip down the entire air conditioning and develop our own to make it the lightest
air conditioning system
possible.
That's crazy.
So yes, Pagani today in 2025 is a company that's still family owned. So the company was founded in '98 with the launch of the Zonda in '99. So throughout the history of Pagani, we launched 3 main models: Zonda in '99, Huayra in 2011, and Utopia in 2022. And let's say that Pagani always was synonym to the development of composite materials, right? So that's how Horacio started his automotive career in Lamborghini, experimenting with the Countach Evoluzione, and then eventually creating Modena Design that also supplied composite materials for non-automotive projects. He also made components of a fighter jet. He even worked on a Formula 1 race car of Michael Schumacher for Aprilia Racing. And that's a bit the story of how Pagani was born, right? As a specialist in A-class composite materials. Today Pagani has an evolution that is a result that Pagani builds the entire car except the power unit. So today Pagani matured in that direction, right? So what was very important is that Pagani had a vertical development, right? So today, for example, in our R&D studio, we have our own homologation team. We have our own vehicle dynamics team working on the development of future models. We also work on a 10-year business and team organization plan. So we're already working on cars that will come out in 10 years. And today, for example, Pagani can develop the software for our suspensions. The Huayra R suspensions, which are featured on Utopia road car, have been tested on the racetrack as a laboratory. but then the software itself were developed by the guys working in the vehicle dynamics team. The entire steering box electronics have been developed by the guys. The software of the electronic differential on Utopia, Coupe and Roadster well developed inside the company. Also another example of a vertical development is definitely the homologation team, which is made up of 5 people. And in the homologation team, the guys had to work on 50 crash tests. Yeah. So now having that internal know-how, we are able to homologate cars with the highest safety standards. Yeah. We pass all crash tests with one monocoque, so we use one prototype dedicated to crash test, and also the guys were able to work on 60 emission tests, because Horacio is always looking for cars homologated on global scale, right? So before Zonda was meant for the European and Asian markets, then with Huayra we eventually entered the North American market, and with Utopia we are able to enter a global market, because we also have 28 dealers, right? So our cars must be homologated on global standards. Yeah. And definitely one of the main evolutions is Modena Design. Yeah. In the past we had to outsource all the CNC components, and today we're able to produce 50 car sets per year, which are composed of more than 800 components. So this is definitely a very big step forward. What's another great vertical evolution is that today Pagani can homologate on a global scale without exemptions, and also a certification has been achieved on a very short time period. Mm-hmm. So today we are very proud to homologate a V12 manual without hybridization, yeah, even on California emission laws, right? The famous CARB laws. Sure, yeah. So having that vertical know-how pushes the boundaries further. We still invest a lot in composite materials, because this is how the company was born.
This is where you're all about, basically.
Exactly, that was all Horacio's expertise. And think that in Utopia we have 40 different types of composite materials. So each formula has a specific mission inside the car, let's say, right? Yeah. From structural element to aesthetical element, bodyworks, also some mechanical components, and this is definitely a step forward to being more mature in Pagani. In Pagani, our daily challenge is to study 2 schools: art, so we always research what can be beautiful, and study what is scientific, what is the most advanced technology available for demanding of a hypercar, right? So this is our daily research, and think that in our research and design studio, it's an open space between engineers and designers. Yeah. So it's not separated like in other realities. And Horacio likes to use the word that an engineer must pollute a designer, and a designer must pollute an engineer. Yeah, of course. So we try to combine these two schools together.
I mean, it's been amazing for me to see. I've followed the Pagani story from basically the beginning of the Huayra production. You know, when I was in Speed Hunters, we came here to Pagani in 2011. We saw the whole production facility at the old factory.
Yes.
And you know, to come here so many years later and see how you guys approach this new car, it really shows how the company has grown, how it's beginning to really bring so much of that extra production in-house, and really create a product which is, you know, the best of the best. I mean, I'm speechless at what I saw today, from, you know, these little details on the steering wheel to feeling the performance of the Utopia. I've been blown away. You know, I have to give you a massive thank you for allowing us to film in so much detail today. I hope, you know, our audience really understands where you guys are going towards, and you know, the future of Pagani is bright. You guys are making cars for enthusiasts. You're sticking to a very specific recipe, and I think we all are very thankful of that, because without manufacturers like you, I think it's getting a little bit diluted with, you know, certain agendas being pushed. So massive thank you from the enthusiasts, and keep going because you're doing awesome stuff.
Yes, we will always try to have a product that is suited around the driver. For us, it's important that the car is engaging, right? These cars are weighing 1,280 kilos. They're very mechanical. Of course, bringing back the V12 with the manual transmission is kind of a statement and celebration today in today's world, where the direction of hypercars is more of hunting numbers, right?
Totally, I think the sheer figure you gave me before, that 75% of people that have bought an Utopia spec'd the manual. That tells you all you need to know.
Yes, and now it's even coming also back to Wyra. So we just launched the Wyra Speedster with the manual transmission. We did the one-off Wyra Epitome. So let's say that the analog experience is very alive today in the hypercar segment, and we don't believe in robotization, right? Of course, as you know, Horacio is inspired by Leonardo da Vinci, and today we feel like we are commissioned these pieces, like once time in the Rinascimento, when an artist was commissioned a painting or a statue. Today we feel that we have this scope, and today Pagani car is about 7,000 components, all handmade.
It's amazing. So moving work of art. All right, so we've now moved to Modena Design. This is a little company that's about 500 meters away from Pagani, and it's a new venture that has kind of come together with them wanting to bring much more of the production in-house. So basically the supplier that was doing all the CNC machinery for them has been absorbed into the company, still under Pagani obviously, and basically have taken a lot of the processes that go into creating now the Utopia in-house. We're going to go inside, check it out, and get all the lowdown on the crazy machinery that is inside and the amazing parts that they churn out daily here. Always amazing to get the scoop on the new things happening here at Pagani, and I'm really excited to see how everything is being brought inside. So starting with CNC, right?
Absolutely. So we inaugurated this facility in January 2024. This is a facility dedicated to all the CNC components, all milled from a single block of aluminium for the Utopia Coupe and Utopia Roadster, which are the models now in production. One car set has about 830 components, all milled from a single block of aluminium. And think that to close a car set of one car, it takes 1 week.
1 week?
1 week, yeah.
Just to do the aluminium parts?
Exactly, just the aluminium parts, yeah.
And I think we have the perfect example here.
Exactly, yeah. This is like the representation of our philosophy behind Modena Design, because the name of this company is a hint back to the past, which was the initial name of Pagani Automobili, and we kept the original name and logo of the company. And today in Modena Design we have 15 people working. We have 8 CNC machines, from 5-axle to a 6-axle machine that can do both turning and milling, which I'll show you now. Yeah. But yes, as an introduction, this is really the steps and the philosophy behind the production of a steering wheel in this case. So we start with the raw material. This is aluminium first grade that weighs 47 kilos as a starter. And then we have the first step, which we call in Italian sgrassatura. So this is a step of 2 hours, which basically the machine is programmed to remove the most of aluminium in the shortest lapse of time. So of course here we still have to keep strategies, right? So for example, to make sure that the bend that we're looking after, the exact angle, we have to keep here like a base to make it sure it's in that direction. So this is 2 hours. Then we add additionally 20 hours to go more into the details, right? So of course here you can see how it's more representative of a detailed and finished steering wheel.
So you actually hollow out the rim.
Yes, this is actually our desire to to remove the most milligrams possible in the car. Our cars are extremely light, they weigh 1,080, our cars weigh 1,280 kilos, and we try to remove the most weight possible to make, of course, that engaging driving feeling. And all 4 angles are hollow. And for example, when you look at the finished steering wheel, to make sure that nobody notices that it's 2 separate parts.
Oh my God, yeah. You can barely
the tolerance, it's a micron.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's roughly 3 microns of tolerance, so it's barely able to be felt with the human hand. And of course on the sides here on the Utopia they're covered with leather or Alcantara, depending on the configuration. Of course the steering wheel can also be hand polished, like you see here, by hand. So it's still polished by an 80-year-old gentleman that knows the traditions of working fine metals. And of course here the customer can personalize it to whoever they want. This is the sequential Utopia, which still is missing the paddles.
Oh, so the paddles attached there. So how much does this weigh? So you started with a 40 kilo billet?
Yes, and the end weight is 1.2.
1.2?
1.2, yeah.
So you throw away 38 kilos of aluminum?
Yes, we do throw away, yes. We try to recycle it or resell it for sure, but it's like considered as a second grade aluminium. Of course, it's not the first grade aluminium. And think also the steering wheel is one main program and has about 500 sub-programs to make sure that we achieve these end results.
All the little details.
Yeah, exactly, all the way. Of course, the tooling needs to be changed. The component is turned by the arm inside the CNC machinery. We are forced to leave some traces against our wheel, actually, because this proves that the component has been milled from a single block of aluminium. So this is like the pedigree, these traces that you see there in the aluminium, that it's been milled from a single block. Today, Modena Design can process about 2 tons of aluminium per month.
So the next stop is to go into the design office here.
Buongiorno ragazzi.
Buongiorno.
So this is the heart of the company. Here we have the 8 positions of CAD/CAM simulators, because the team that's working here in the simulators will also man the machines later on, and will follow the entire piece. So here in Modena Design, unlike other realities, the programming is done by one single person, then the simulator is done by one single person, and the physical control of the component is also followed by one single person. So we try to make sure that they follow the entire cycle of production in the production. And here this is a significant investment we have made to have here the 8 positions of simulator. Here my colleague is actually working on the steering wheel of an Utopia. And here his daily challenge, if you want, is to make sure that his strategies convince him of how to work around the metal component, right? Think that initially the steering wheel in the first productions we were about 50 hours of milling, and today, due to the intensive and daily improvements, we lowered it to 25 hours. So we try to make sure that we can optimize the milling.
So even to this day, you're still trying to do refinements on everything that you guys do?
Yes, we are. Absolutely. Yeah. And here, for example, I wanted to show you a micron. This is one of the toolings that used for the incising of the Pagani logo and the serial number. So every component has a serial number and the Pagani logo, the Alice logo, and it's not lasered. So myth busted. Incredible. It is all incised by this tooling. And then, of course, once he's convinced about the strategies and the toolings used, he's gonna run the machine. So here behind me we have a Makino CNC machine that's come from Japan, which is the most advanced machinery there is available on the market today. And the machine is fully running because these machines run 24/7.
24/7.
So even on Christmas, they keep running. And basically these machines here are 5-axis machine. The machine has a water tank and oil tank of 600 liters. For each component there are phases of 100 liters. We use water and oil because water cools down heated components and they all lubricates it, right? So for example here, if you can see closer, the machine is working very, very fast the way it's milling, and it's spraying these liquids. And basically whatever aluminium leftovers come always in this here. And basically the machine is fed by the robot arm that you see here. So we have like an intelligent warehouse, because this machine, if you want, is limited to only milling. In the next room I show you a machine that can do both milling but also turning. So so for example, if one of the wheel hubs needs of course to turn, right? So we have to make sure we work this part. It's very oily. And basically this machine, this is a wheel hub of an Utopia today, which is basically milled twice, because to make sure that we have the lowest tolerations possible where the bearing is going to be put, we mill it twice. And you can see this is a wheel hub that is like hidden behind the wheel.
Nobody would ever see.
Nobody would ever see
Maybe
it.
the mechanics.
But this is like works of 60 hours of milling.
Incredible.
And then it will be anodized in gold, because it's always personalized in the car set of Utopia. And this is, you see here, the first step that I showed you, this grassatura,
where we get rid of most of the material.
Exactly, yeah. All serial number incised here. And then here we have other raw blocks of aluminium. We have this is like a cover for the engine. On top of the cylinders we have a Pagani logo, because it's a Pagani V12. It's going to be also anodized here. And yes, the guys work on 830 components for one Utopia car set. Here we have the suspension arms that you see that are firstly forged.
And then the forgings arrived already in shape.
Here we see it, the AA arm. And I mean, look at this. The amount of effort that is put into a suspension arm, right?
It's wild. So is this completed, or does it still need to do a pass?
It will be anodized further. So yeah, now it's been milled and it will be anodized. So the aesthetical part. I think that Horacio modifies as an average 5 times the component, because he's still a person that needs to look at it,
hold
physically.
It, see it,
He doesn't like the simulator. Feel it, hold it in his arm, and the weight, of course, is extremely important in our cars, right? So he modifies the components 5 times, averagely. And of course here we keep all the quality control, so with the scanner and the barcode, to make sure that we follow all the quality steps that we have implemented. Here we have a smaller machine coming from Germany. With here the robot is integrated. The warehouse, if you want, is integrated, right? So it's going to feed it. It's an extremely fast machine, actually. It's a machine that can achieve very high speed. And this is the suspension arm that we just had in my hands. So you see, this is like the step before and then after the one I showed you. Also,
little small intricate parts. Crazy. Oh, the air vent.
These are basically the headlamps of the Utopia.
Oh, the headlamps, okay.
Which is inspired by the Vespa. And it's 2 blocks of aluminium that are milled, because you will see here, they're separated. And to give you an example of how we go into the detail of aesthetics, you see this line here.
Oh, it continues on to the next piece.
It continues on. It's not an error, but it's something we wanted to make sure that it was harmonious.
Amazing.
And basically these are two blocks, right? It's this block and then this block, you see? These two cylinders here. These are the blocks for the door handles. This is the door handle. It's this one here. We can extract two from one block.
Wow.
So yeah, this is how your door handle is born.
That's wild.
These are the tail lamps. There's also two blocks of aluminium, all milled. And then this is like your door handle in the final stage where I'm still missing the latch here to open it. But yeah, this is the amount of effort that goes into a door latch. Here the incision is yet missing because this is the cabin lighting, if you want. But we're still missing here the logos with the lamps. So they will be all incised with that micron tooling I just showed you. This is for the this is the hardtop latch. So you know the Utopia
latches for the
hardtop.
For the Roadster version.
For the Roadster version, which is now in production. Yeah. These are the historic machines that we brought from Aspa, which was the initial partner, and then the machines on the left are the one that we acquired for the investment that when we brought Aspa inside the Pagani.
Aspa, as you were telling me, was the company you guys used to outsource the build stuff.
So Aspa is a multinational. They have also companies in India, China, and they had one in Modena. And they worked on motorsport, Formula 1, aerospace, aviation. And then inside Aspa there was a division dedicated only to Pagani components. In the history of Aspa and Pagani, we started working with them in 2000 on the fly clutch wheel of a Zonda, which I was telling you. And we achieved 32,000 components in the history. So it made sense to always pushing a supplier further in personalization, in Horacio's mind of having mechanical components in some way. It had sense to bring it now internally, right? And yes, now it's part of the Pagani group. And here we have the position for the steering wheels. As you can see, the machine is always fully working. Of course, it varies if it's in a sequential or a manual steering wheel. We have all the toolings here. All the tooling is being prepared. Of course, the tooling has also a certain life because it's measured in meters. How many meters have been milled on that specific tooling? And then the tooling is consumed and replaced. Look, this is a very interesting component we often show to show how further into detail is. This is the decoration, if you want, of the glove box. So behind the steering wheel you will see the curvy cabin of Utopia, and these are the sills of the glove box. But it's not just bent. The idea is that we need to find a strategy to make sure that we have that bendy form when we mill the components. And you have left and right. So here with the fire extinguisher, which is the driver's side, and this one is the passenger one. And this is how it's born. And this is the second step, and now we will remove the rest to extract two bars, two sills, right? Even this is a part of the windshield wiper. It's made by us.
Everything is made here. What are these little things?
These little things...
Pagani logos.
Yeah, of course, Pagani logos. I think this is a component for the Roadster, for the deflectors, of the air deflectors.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's the logo, the deflectors that we have in the middle.
This is what we were just looking at.
Exactly. So this is what we're looking at. This is how it starts. So it's not bent, it's actually milled in a certain way to have that curvy.
Yeah, and two are done from the same piece.
Two are done from the same piece.
Look at that. we are in the next room up, and this is where refinements, I guess, begin, right?
Exactly. So here you can see the air vents that have been completely hand polished. And I have a very interesting anecdote because I spoke with the lucidatore,
The official polisher guy.
The official polisher. He told me that whenever he's in a sad mood, or if his football team lost, for example, he wouldn't be able to polish it by hand because otherwise in the polishing, his result of being in a bad mood would reflect on the component.
Wow.
So that's very, very deep. And yes, we have all other types of components here that have been all polished, you see, with that mirror effect. Here, these are the holders of the real tail lights.
Oh my gosh. So everything gets bagged as well?
Yeah. All bagged, yeah. So even the smallest components. Yeah. And then here we have the measurement room. So this is another quality control. Here we have the actuator of the transmission that is being measured with this laser on this machine. Amazing. For the tolerances, right?
Tolerance checks, yeah.
Which are unexisting because of Horacio's standards.
Yeah.
Here we have other components. This, for example, the speakers of the Utopia. The round part of the speakers, which has another finishing. You see here it's more like steel finishing. So
the different finishes are done here as well?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Let me see if I can find you an anodized part. This is, for example, here the central tunnel. Yeah. So the strategies, again, what AI or can't buy is that we need to find ways to incise. So to make sure that exhaust button is incised correctly, we need to make here a hole, squarey hole, to make sure that when you touch at it,
you don't really feel it at all. Wow.
Yeah, all the Roadster logo, you see, it's all incised. These are the aero flaps of the Huayra Revo Roadster that you see here, are still being manufactured. And then, for example, here we have another part of anodization. So you see the customer wanted this Tiffany looking it's a cap, and the customer can
specify any color basically.
Yeah, exactly. Here you can see it's the key lever that starts as a cylinder. It's about 12 kilos that passes under less than 1 kilo in the end. Wow. And we also work all on the spring recoil. So we have to make sure that we set up the right spring to make sure there is no tolerance in here. All this has also been all milled from a single block. Yeah. All incised, so the reverse, neutral and minus and plus, all incised. And yeah, this is one of the most complex components we ever made, all incised.
Amazing.
And then here a customer decided to anodize it in full black. Customer can anodize it in all these colors that you see here. For example, this was the latch of the Roadster BC with bearing from a Japanese company. Very, very precise. Yeah. Here you can see the second step. This is like the gorges of the Utopia with all the buttons here for windows and hazard lights, for example. This is a more steel dust effect, so you see that matte finishing that the customer can also personalize. So think also that this part, we make it ourselves, because Horacio doesn't want to see plastic caps. So
everything has to be aluminum.
And everything has to be aluminum, yeah, exactly.
Down to, of course, the emblems and badges and everything, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. This was a Dinamica Evo. It's a one-off based on the Roadster BC. And yeah, this was a writing on the top of the glove box inside the car.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Nothing is spared.
And wait, I can show you. Like I told you, so the dipstick of the oil is incised and then anodized in red titanium. Wow. So the oil stick is this one. So when this component is ready, what we're going to do is Modena Design will send it to the atelier. The atelier sticks it in the car, and where it stops, because it's never stopping at the same way.
Yeah.
We're going to incise the logo so that on every car
it's always straight.
It's always straight. Yeah. So
Oh
it comes
my
back and
God.
forth 2 times. Yeah.
Oh, there's attention to detail.
And here you see these were the door latches I was telling you about, with the mechanism to make sure that the always the same feeling, which are integrated in the body of Utopia, right? These were the holders I was telling you of the tail lights. You see, they're all put together.
Okay, now that makes sense. Now I remember what part that was.
Then even the logo, so the customer will receive like the negative and the positive. So it's the 2 wooden boxes we give to the customer.
Oh, they get the.
So they get the negative.
The negative of where the badge came
exactly,
from.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see here, Utopia, because of the shape of the bonnet, it has to be milled in a certain way that it can.
It's got a little bit of a radius to it.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't damage the.
Of course.
And yeah, here we have other components. And this was what I was telling you with the microphone, the light, ESC off, Pagani logo. Again, with the strategies here inside to make sure that we can have the perfect no tolerance, right? Fuel cap is also made in house. It's a really cool component, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
So it's also a sound experience.
The sound, yeah, it's got to be right all the way.
V12 badge also made by us. Here the badging, you see. So curved in a certain way.
So basically, you guys are taking milling to the next level. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, 830 components is a lot. So this is almost 1 car set put in these boxes when we to make sure we don't damage them.
You even have the right foam cut to fit each part.
Yes, we have.
So
here is the exhaust Corona.
With the little veins at the top. Yeah.
Exactly. This customer wanted a black finishing, hence why we...
And this is going to get screwed on.
Exactly, and it comes back a second time. I'm trying to find the pedals, which is a very... here they are. So here in the pedals, so it's going to be a manual one, of course. You have it here, the clutch.
Oh yeah.
And basically, what's very intriguing on the pedals is, of course, that here you can see all the mechanics, right? So this is all made from a single block and then put together. But you see this part here is a part that Horacio wants to add to hide the switches behind for the stoplights and all the cabling. So this component is an additional aesthetics to hide.
Just to hide the things that you don't want to see.
You don't want to see. See how the bearings are installed? All the bearings. We work with Escape PF, which are here already installed, you see? So this is what a hypercar is all about, with the most advanced bearings.
Yeah.
It's very heavy with the rolls, you see?
Oh my God, look at the size of these things.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
With the small bullets here, you see?
Center lug, and onto the final machine.
Here is a machine, is the most advanced machine we have in Modena Design today. It's a Mazak, it's a 20-ton machine coming from Japan also. And this machine is so advanced that it can do turning and milling together. So this doesn't need like a warehouse. It only needs one arm and it can turn it, right? And it just feeds the machine. So basically here, these components that we make, they can be turned whatever the sub-program tells the machine to. So this is a 6-axle machine, an additional axle.
Yeah. So it does everything from beginning to end in one.
Exactly.
One program, basically.
And we make here also very complex components. You see the actuator where all the oil passes in the transmission.
Yeah.
I mean, you should just touch at this, how the quality is.
Oh my gosh. some sunflower shooting between these two fields. All right, a few more locations. Found a nice little semi-abandoned house here in the middle of some sunflower fields. Italy always on point with beautiful locations. All right, off we go with Matteo on a nice ride. This is where I get to really feel the Utopia Roadster manual in action. And actually, I'll keep the talking to a very minimum. We'll just let the car do its job and indulge in that V12 twin turbo. Man, what an absolute crazy day it was here at Pagani. Many thanks to Sebastian and the team for allowing the access and for us to kind of show you guys what Pagani is becoming. Like, it's an evolving company. I remember it still as a smaller family-run business. It's still a family-run business, but it's grown so much. Bringing in some of the external suppliers they had and taking over some of the important jobs that were kind of outsourced before, and refining the production, creating cars like the Utopia Roadster we got to drive today. And amazing, I've just been blown away. The progression of this car really is phenomenal to experience. I have a lot of experience driving the Huayra. I've tried Zondas. This car really is the perfect evolution of the Pagani brand, kind of bringing the best of technology, matching it with the best of art. It really is an experience and the epitome of what an Italian car should be. I hope you are loving the content we're bringing you from Italy. It's been phenomenal today. Make sure you subscribe. Check back soon for more.